Hi, welcome back. I'm Pranita Sharma and we are going to start with a new series of ICSE question paper solved. For today, I have taken ICSE 2019 question paper and let's start solving it. Do not get worried. The relevant theory portion of any particular topic will be discussed in the theory and program series. So do check it out. So let's begin with the rules for the question paper. The rules are as such. First of all, it contains two sections. Section A, where you have to attempt all the questions, and Section B, where you have to attempt any 4 questions out of 6 questions. So time is 2 hours and marks is 100. So we'll start with Section A, question number 1 and question number 2. Section A generally consists of 40 marks and it's theoretical based questions. So generally one question carries 2 marks each. So let's begin question number 1. The first question is, name any 2 basic principles of object-oriented programming. The basic principles for object-oriented programming, there are basically 4. So I'm not going to name only 2, I'm going to name all the 4. So first one is your data abstraction, second encapsulation, third is inheritance, and fourth is polymorphism. Let's come to question number B. What is the difference between unary and binary operator? Unary operators basically are those operators which act upon a single operand. There is only one operand. Example, like they are pre-increment or post-increment operator, even pre-decrement and post-decrement operator. So I've taken few examples over here, a plus plus or minus minus a. Since only one operand is used, we call them unary operator. Binary operator, on the other hand, is those which require 2 operands. They are mathematical operators or relational operators. Example, plus, minus, multiplication, less than or greater than. So this operator basically they require 2 operands. Let's come to the third question. Name the keyword which. Okay, there will be some parts to it. Number 1 indicates that a method has no return type. So whenever a method has no return type, we generally indicate by using void. It has no return type. Second is make the variable as a class variable. So whenever we have to make anything as a class variable or class object or anything, we declare them static. So I hope this is clear. Now question number D. Write the memory capacity, storage size of short and float data type in bytes. So you have to write the size in bytes for short and float. So short it is 2 bytes and float it is 4 bytes. Number E. Identify and name the following tokens. So you have to name them. Public. Now public is an access specifier. Second, since it is enclosed in a single quotation, it is a character literal. Double equal to, so it is a relational operator which is generally equal to. And these are the curly brackets which are basically called separator. They're used for creating blocks. Okay, let's come to question number 2. Question number 2, number A. Differentiate between if, else, if and switch case. So these are nothing but conditional checking structures where you can use them according to the functionality you need. So if, else, if. What is the functionality? Let us understand. It evaluates integer, character, pointer or floating point type or boolean type. So it generally checks, evaluate means it checks and then runs. So integer, character, pointer or floating type. Now the statement which will be executed depends upon the output of the expression inside if statement. So whatever condition you are putting inside the if statement basically decides which statement will be executed. Now in switch case, it evaluates only character or integer value. So in switch case, we have only two types, that is character, either a character or a integer value. And the statements which will be executed is decided by the user. So according to the character or the integer value the user chooses, the statement will be run. So it's not decided upon the condition, but rather the choice of the user. So I hope if, else and switch case is clear. Now give the output of the following code. Now here some codes are there. Okay, string P is 20 and Q is 19. So it is both in string. By the keyword string also you can understand, and they have put double quotation, which means they are string. Now integer A is integer dot parse integer P. So whenever we are doing parse integer, we generally have converted the string into integer. And integer B equals to integer dot value of Q. Okay, whenever we are taking value of Q, we are not converting it into integer, but yes, the value is taken and stored in the box integer B. And now we have to print out system.out.println A plus double quotation, that is nothing but a single space, we can say, plus B. So if I'm taking this as integer, here the plus sign is going to indicate this is going to take it as string. So both of things will be taken as a string. So the output will be 2019. 20 is not added with 19. It becomes concatenation. It's being placed side by side. So 2019. I hope this is clear. Okay, number C. What are the various types of errors in Java? So this particular topic I'll go in details in the theory section. For now, let's know the types. That is, number one is the syntax error, if you make any error in the syntax. Second is your semantic error, if you are making any error in the semantic of Java code. Runtime error, if you are making some error which is caught only during the runtime while running the program. And logical error, if you have made any error which the code is correct but logically it's not correct. And number D, state the data type and value of res after the following code is executed. Okay, character is ch9 and res is character dot is digit. Okay, here something kind of checking is going on, is digit. Now that function is going to check whether that character is a digit or not. And yes, it is a digit. So let's see. Since checking is going on, whether it's true or false, so the data type of res will be Boolean. And since it is true that 9 is a digit in character form, so the value will be true. Okay, E. What is the difference between linear search and binary search technique? Linear search basically means if you are going in one straight direction searching for a particular element. Linear search works both for sorted and unsorted data. So you don't need to have a sorted data. Sorted means arranged in either descending or ascending order. So if you are working one by one, you will not be bothered whether the data is sorted or not sorted. Linear search begins at the start of an array, that is 0th position. The starting of an array is always from 0. So linear search basically goes on searching one after the other. So the starting will be 0th position. And in binary search, the array is basically divided into two halves and the item is searched according to which half has the greater value or the lesser value. What I mean to say is it will search only the half of the data, half of the array. So by this you can understand it has to be either in ascending or descending order. So binary search works on sorted data. It has to be sorted. This technique divides the array in two halves and the desired item is searched in halves. So half doing the half process, now binary search works. Thank you everyone. We'll meet in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe for more.